Hello everybody. Let's see if I've managed to get all of this pointed in roughly the right direction. Yeah, that's looking good. I think we can see it on stream. Okay. Yeah. Hey everybody. Welcome back. So, for the first time in my very short time doing these Sunday streams, we're going to return to a game I've already played a little bit before. Last weekend we played Taiji, which is sort of a bit like, kind of a bit witnessy, in that you've got this big open world full of puzzles, and you interact with them all. Only rather than necessarily drawing paths, you are flipping tiles from black to white, but you still have these panels in the world you interact with, mostly, at least so far. But I'm not 100% sure right now where it goes, because as you can see from this central area, I've only finished 2 areas. One that was all about bridges, which I totally got quite quickly. One that was all about combining shapes, which I mostly got. And we also did a little bit on this area down here, which I still don't fully understand. But my understanding so far, at least, is that we have these... I'm just going to turn my own volume down. We have these different areas signposted by this central hub. It looks like we've got to fill up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So I'm not sure if we have to fill up all of them yet. We might have to, we might not. We'll find that out depending how far we get today. But we mostly messed around in the bottom half of the map last weekend, and I'm eager to go and see what these ones at the top look like. Hey Bonky, it is that tile flipping game. Or that flipping game, yes. We have the added benefit or bonus today that I'm slightly hungover from a party yesterday, so we will see whether that improves or makes my puzzle solving abilities much worse. I know which way I would vote. Hey Scott, thanks for joining us. Alrighty. So, it looks like we've got like a diamond, the number 3 on a die, some binary nonsense, maybe some ruins, I'm not sure what that one is, or a tree over there. We will be going back to this area at some point. We're not going to go back to there straight away. So I think let's just go straight up. See what's up here. So we did a little bit of this area before. So let's just keep going up and see where we get. So you can see we've gone through some of this area already and solved some things around here. But not everything up this route. Okay, I don't think... Oh yes, that's right. Last week we did this building. And we worked our way up through this section. Unlocking some shortcuts down here and all this. So I think if we keep going up, this looks like a new area in the Snowy Mountains. I am aware that somebody had to draw this stuff, and it is a beautiful, beautiful looking game. So that looks like the very, very top of the mountains. I saw these binary sections, so why don't we start here? Unless I can figure out how to get up there. No, let's start in the binary section. I'll be in order, all indecisive. So 00100011. Or interesting. So we've obviously got 2 on-off binary codes here. I'm not sure what the dot at the beginning means. That's probably important. And the tiles are obviously on-off. We can either have them lit or unlit. Now it could be that this is an OR operation. Or it could be that it's maybe an AND operation, or it could be an XOR operation, which are all different common types of operator. I imagine perhaps maybe there's someone else that tutorializes this a bit more. Hey Joe. I mean, I feel like I should probably still recognize it, what with having, you know, streamed with you under that name. So what are all these pillars about? So that seems to be... that's 0, 1, 2 and 3 in binary. And then that skips up to... that's 1, 2, 4, 8. That skips up to 12. 13, 14, 15. So it seems to be doing that one, that one, that one, that one. So that's, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 0, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, yeah, with 4 bits you can only get 16 different digits, 0 to 15. That's interesting. I wonder why it goes along that route. Swaps, goes along that route. Then goes back up and swaps around there. That feels like that might be pertinent. And there's 8 here, if you count the dot at the beginning. I definitely feel like maybe we haven't done the area that's supposed to tutorialize that mechanic yet. So let's wander off and see if we can find another more starty tutorial-y bit for an area. Oh. Or indeed miss the fact there's some slopes and get stuck behind a cliff. It looks like I can go up here. This looks like it could be sort of an environmental puzzle. Oh, maybe the down ones are the clicked ones. Maybe not. Interesting. Interesting. I definitely feel like I've not found like the start of an area yet. So I'm going to keep wandering about. So did we come out of here? Yeah, we came out of here after finishing the bridges last week. We've seen some of these nature puzzles scattered all around the place. But as with most of these games, part of it's kind of wandering around, figuring out where the area starts, how, and learning the mechanics so you can then go solve it other places. We did discover last week that these fire pits are kind of the ends of areas. When you light these up, it lights up those segments in the central hub. So if that's the end of the area, we should be able to kind of follow this pathway back to figure out where the start of that area is. Although we can't get in there, so that's a bit more tricky. It does look like it's probably this one, because that's the only one we can seemingly activate around here. So we've obviously got 2 different states here. We've got up trees, or like higher trees and lower trees. And then the question with these sorts of puzzles is, how do you translate what you see in some form of world mechanic into these panels? And there is only, well, there's only 2 states, but we can also mark panels as well if we need to for some of the more complicated puzzles, which can be helpful. It definitely feels like it should be that for me, but I'm obviously missing something. No, we don't have to mirror flip it like we had to in some of the places. There was a whole area where we were mirror flipping puzzles, pillars, or informational pillars backwards and forwards. We've definitely got kind of a a mapping from 7 to 7 here. I can't see anything obvious on the branches that would kind of mean that you had to change them. So maybe we'll try the down again, but we can try the down mirror flipped as well. No, I'm not seeing anything obvious here at the moment. Well, Pop-Punk, I don't know what's going on at the moment with this section. That's what I'm trying to figure out. This feels like the starting of this area, but I can't figure out a mapping between this tree into this. Unless I'm trying to map the wrong one. Unless I'm trying to map the wrong one. Oh, that door seems unnecessary. They do have different heights when you get over here. They're against a wall as well, which feels. So these all seem to be against a wall that feels important somehow. Okay. Are the ones, if we go back down here, against walls as well? Is that an important component of the puzzle that I haven't figured out yet? No, not necessarily. Okay. Well, let's continue wandering on and see if we can find another area. There was up this way somewhere, or maybe it was around and up. There was a snowy area, so let's go and explore that. I always forget the slam in the solution button. It is my greatest weakness when it comes to puzzle games. The fact that I try and think. It never ends well. I think I said this last week, but I love the way the environment looks with all the subtle movement in the water and whatnot. It's a very, very pretty game. Oh, well, we encountered this type of puzzle last week. And I got very grumpy at one of these puzzles. That's interesting, though. We've got differences on both sides of this puzzle. Which we did not in the earlier types of these puzzles. Oh god, you're actually completely right. To be fair, in my defence, I thought that was mainly because you were being flippant. Oh, I mean, you absolutely did. One of you in particular is very regularly flippant on stream. Yep, no, you're quite right. I am being a doofus. Thanks for that. So yes, I forgot that you actually have to press space to input the solution as well. I think so you can't just kind of brute force these things as easily because there are quite a limited amount of possibility space in this. So I think they've added in a verifier. Alcohol does regularly kill brain cells, yes. Okay, well that's good. I wasn't just being... I was being stupid rather than dumb. Does that make sense? I'm not sure. But so now we have we have 4 different levels on this one. So how do we translate 4 different levels into what is a on-off binary thing? That's true. That also means I maybe could have solved the puzzle above me as well. Oh well. It has been a long week, as they say. So there's 6. I want to say hyacinth, but they're not. 6 cherry blossom stalks and 6 buttons. So unless there's an ordering thing going on here, which we haven't had before, there must be some other way to figure out kind of what's high and what's low. Or what's on and what's off, I should say. So here we just said up and downs, whereas here we have multiple ones. So that one there feels like that should probably be off. So we could try the middle 3, for example. You see, now because you've been right, there's this danger that any comment you make, no matter how flippant, could actually be useful. I think this was part of your plan. This also these actually branch off differently as well. So these branched off at the same level, whereas these branch off at different levels. So it might be that actually it's the length of the... I was going to say the length of the pink bit, but that might get me a ban from Twitch. The length of the flower element, so to speak. So, yeah, so right, this one is the same height as this one, so that will be on. This one is the same height as this one. Or the same starting height, I should say, but goes higher. So it's probably that. Yeah. So, it's not about the kind of absolute height they go up. It's about the kind of length from where they start blooming. That is the important aspect. Interesting. And of course, as these games are wont to do, they then quickly invert the thing you think you've just learned. So my reckoning in this is that these outer ones and these 2 inner ones are long and these 2 middle ones are short. Okay. Progress. Just now open this door so we can go into here. Oh, and that's our area marker. Although, not sure how we quite get to that area marker. Can we run around here? There we go. So these allow us to fill in the map, and they also allow us to fast travel. If you type in the symbol for another area, you can fast travel and teleport between these, which is not immediately obvious, and I don't think everybody notices straight off. I only sort of tried on a bit of a hunch before. Yeah, I was planning to. Oh no, it has. Oh, I see. It fills in the symbol when you fast travel from it. Okay, that's fine. No, I was planning to because, yeah, I learnt that you filled in the symbols last week. Which is useful. Okay. So now we're getting to these ones where they're not necessarily the same size. So this is effectively a binary tree. And this is also a binary tree. Because we have a binary split here, because it goes from 1 to 2, and this goes from 1 to 2. So you end up going kind of from 1 to 2 to 4. But they do split at slightly different levels. Whether that is important, we will find out, I suppose. So this one on the right here and this one on the right here are longer. So they're likely to be our on ones. Question is then, what do we do with these ones? Ah, it's probably this one that's on, because then this sub-branch. So I'm going to use a lot of programming terms because that's my background, but a lot of programming terms do come from trees. So I think they're going to overlap quite nicely. But this branch here is higher than this branch here, which probably means that this one's an on one. Okay. Okay, okay. And now we have a slightly more complicated binary tree here. So these two probably link to these two splits. And then we have more splits and stuff up here. Okay, so I think that one will be on because this is longer than this one. Then maybe these two, because this one and this one are longer. Because the pairs at the top all appear to be matched in length. So I think there isn't a kind of a row on the panel that's linked to these ones. The bottom row is linked to this section, the next row up's linked to this section, and then the top row is linked to these sections, but they're still just counted as pairs. But I imagine those splits are only going to get more complicated as we go. Okay. So now we've got a very different style of tree. But if we still consider this as being binary splits, after the first split, the left one's on. After the second split, the right one's on. And then the top split has them both on. Perhaps. It's obviously not quite right. Maybe it's like that. Interesting. Obviously, when I say these things, you say them with conviction until you test them and find out they're not necessarily correct in any way. Just how these games go. Oh no, because it's not about that, it's about the length of the branch. So it's probably that way and then that way. Because that segment's longer than that segment's longer. But we can't see the top, so is it around that or is it around that? Or can we figure out somehow about the top split? Can we figure out the top split? Okay. That felt like, because it's obscured, there's only a very small amount of options. I'm not entirely convinced if you were supposed to brute force that or you were supposed to figure that one out. But it feels obscured by this bit of tree here. But yeah, it's about the length of things. That's the important aspect. Okay. You thought for that one you thought the branches at the top were the path behind the tree. Oh, these bits here, you mean? Yes, I get what you mean. Yeah, there is a bit of an overlap on colour. Okay. So if these two here are this split, this area is longer, and then we can just about see a split there going right and left, and the left split's longer. Then on this side, that will relate to this part, so that one's longer, then that one's longer, then that one's longer. Okay, cool. Oh! No, I see what you mean, Joe. I totally thought they were the path as well. Because actually, it looks like the shading matches as well underneath there. Like, it looks like you've actually got this circular shading aspect. Yeah. I'm not sure, but when you get down to kind of just 3 or 4 cases, I get a bit less worried about the brute forcing. Okay. And here is our final tree challenge. So we're no longer dealing with a binary tree. We've got a trinary split at here. But in our trinary split, the rightmost branch is longer, which will probably highlight that one. Then this one's longer, but you can almost see that from the design of the panel. So this one would then represent this branch. These two would represent these two branches, which would mean that, I assume. So if this bit represents this bit of the branch, we then have that branch and that branch. So it's that bit. Then that branch and that branch, which is the right-hand one. Then that branch and that branch, which is the left-hand one. Then this branch represents this panel. This left-hand one's longer than that one. So I guess that. Okay. Well, there we go. That's us having done this little tree area then. But we have seen this style of panel around quite a bit. So this might be one that crops up in other areas that we can go and now hopefully solve. We shall see. We shall see. That's what I really like about these games, when you kind of see these really indecipherable things, but then you slowly get to the stage where not only do they not look indecipherable, but they look really, really obvious when you've learned the language. I think a lot of people describe The Witness as... that's unfair. Not a lot of people, but I saw at least a few people describe The Witness as this kind of Metroidvania, but for your mind. So you never unlock anything, any powers to go to new areas, apart from just new knowledge. And I really like that kind of design, but it's very difficult to pull off. Okay, now we're back here. Let's see if we can figure out this one, remembering to actually push the button. So let's try it as an AND operation. So an AND operation is if the top row or the bottom row... I'm actually now talking rubbish. This would be an AND operation, because it's if the top row and the bottom row are both ones, then you get an AND. An OR operation is when it's the top row or the bottom row have a 1. And then you have the fun XOR, which is when the top row or the bottom row, but not both, are 1s. And there we go, it's an XOR operation that it expects there. So, not sure what exactly that was where we were supposed to figure out it was an XOR, but it might be worth remembering that if maybe these little dots at the front hint at that. My suspicion is maybe these pillars were supposed to hint, because there's never kind of black or white at the same column, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so now we've got 3 rows. The middle row on this one's all 0s. The middle row on that one's all 1s. And I'm not sure if that matters. And that's the same... Yeah, they're the same top and bottom row, I think. Yeah, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Yeah, they're the same top and bottom rows on those. So, okay, so it won't be the same... Oh, it will be the same solution. Oh, interesting. So we're ignoring that middle row. Interesting. So are we still ignoring that middle row? No. So in which case, if this is a true XOR, and we're XORing all 3 of them, it should be that, shouldn't it? Because that's the only ones... Maybe that? Okay. So XOR, when you do it with more than 2 things, can get a bit weird. So if we XOR just the top rows together, we would get that one, not that one, that one, and then not these ones. But then when you XOR multiple, like a third thing together, you can then XOR this sub-solution to that, which would mean this one would turn off, this one would turn off, but then these two would turn back on, which then becomes our solution. So in this case, if we're doing XORing, should be that. Because there's only one in each of the columns, and that just automatically goes on. When you have two, that's an off. When you have three, it's an on. So when you XOR multiple rows, or more than two rows, it's kind of an odd even thing, is what it works out into. Okay. So we've solved these ones, but this doesn't lead us, yet at least, to a fire pit. So I assume that might have been a tutorial area, and we will find more of those soon. So let's continue heading up the mountain where we were going to go until chat quite rightly told me I was being a dingus. Oh yeah, we'll come back to that pillar. Aha! We have another area up here. Aha, so yeah, this seems to be our binary area up here. As before, if I do that, we can teleport to another, back to the factory area, which will then write our teleportation runes on the map for us. So the areas we finished are this kind of windmill area and this pillar area here. We've done a bit in the factory. Oh, we've just finished this tree area up here. We looked at the mansion and then I ran away because I think that's going to be a later game area. We've not seen this vertical mirror flipped cherry blossom area yet. That's interesting. But as we're at the top of the mountain, let's keep going. Passing by some mysterious looking gravestones by the look of it. That being the symbol of the area where we started. And, you know, some dramatic church bells going off in the soundtrack suddenly. Let's see if we can find our starting area. And I wonder if we've done it in the wrong order again and this is the bit that's going to tell us. Yeah, this feels like the bit that should have tutorialized us for that ever area. But it wouldn't be the first time we've done that today in this game. So these are just simpler cases of what we've done before. Doot doot and doot. Because remember, if we're XORing and we have two ones in the same column, they cancel out. Otherwise, if you just have a single one in any column, they count as on. That's just all of them on, right? They're just slightly offset to make it look a bit more difficult. Now we're doing offset and overlapped stuff, but these are still just zeros and ones. It's just their pixels are overlapping to make them look like really mysterious symbols. Which, I'm not a big fan of this style of puzzle design. I feel like if you're going to have mysterious symbols and let me figure them out. Give me a numeral system like in Myst that I can figure out. So this is 0, 1, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Which means that one, not that one, that one, that one, not that one, that one. This looks like it's probably the same, but they've just filled in the zeros. Oh no, the things are... If they're 3 pixels high... Yeah, so they're 3 pixels by 3 pixel spaces, if we think of them like a grid. And these are just closer together, so when you have the 2 zeros overlapping, they cover up each other's centers. So in this case, we've basically been moving them, yeah, kind of closer and closer together. You can see by the dots on the left. That's probably why the dots are there, to tell us how close they are vertically. So we know that this one both has a 1 in it, because we're getting none of the 0 outlines, and this one has a 1 in it. So neither of these can be on. And as these are filled in, they must have a 1 in it to fill in the centers. So the answer has to be that. And up here in the environment, we seem to have the solution. So we know that when you have like a filled in 3x3 square, that has to be 1. Because that's a 0 with a 1 on top of it. Or that has to be on. This one's a 0 with nothing in it. So that can't be on. That's a 1 and a 1 overlapped. So that can't be on. That's a 0 with a 1 over it. So that has to be on. And those two can't be on because it's a 0 and a 1 overlapping a 1. So I guess these are to slowly introduce us to this concept of having two separate lines of 0s and 1s that actually overlap each other completely, figuring out what the kind of resultant symbols mean. Now we've gone a bit more archaeologist. So these are 6 wide, and these are both 6x6. The question is, are they then kind of mirror flipped off the center? Which we can find out, but if we just put this in again, yeah. So this dot is the starting point on the left. So this would actually, you'd read this from right to left, 1 1 0 1 1. So the easiest way for me to do this and keep my brain holding on is to fill in the one that makes sense and then basically go through and then click all of the ones that say 1 from here, and that will do an XOR operation. So if I kind of go, 1 1 0 1 0 0, where 1 means click, 0 means doesn't, and then I go 1 1 0 1 0 0, that's the correct XOR operation. And you don't have to do it in your brain. So here again we've got a little bit of overlapping and that same left to right, right to left. So at the top we've got 1 0 0 0 1 1. And then from the bottom right to left we've got 1 0 1 1 1 0. So that should be our answer. In this case, we can read it, I guess, left to right and then right to left. So 1 1 dot, or 1 1 0 1 1 0 1, and then 1 0 1 1 0 1 1. So that should be our answer. This one I assume we just read, I guess we just read until we run out of space on here. So let's try that. So we have 1 0 1 0 1 0 1, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So the middle digit overlaps. But if we then read from this dot, we get 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So the middle 2 digits overlap. So then that's our answer. Okay. Deeper into the catacombs we go. Oh, there doesn't seem to be much deeper into these catacombs. Okay, so now these symbols are completely overlapping, but we have to read left to right and then right to left. So 0 1 0, and we know that has to be on, that can't be on, and that has to be on. So, hang on, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Yeah, so actually, what we know is it has to just be that one and that one, right? No, I thought that would be too easy. Oh no, that doesn't bode well. just try typing them in, reading them as best we can, long form. So if we go left to right, we get 0, 1, 0. And let's assume, going from the left-hand side, the squares are going to be zeros. So that's 0, 1, 0, 1. But then if we go right to left, we'd get 1, and then if we assume these are now 1s going right to left, you get 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. Which is what I tried before. So the other way, I guess, to think about it is we know that these filled in ones count as ones in another place of the... We've learned that somewhere else in the world. So we could do 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. But then when we read that right to left, we'd get 1, 1, 1, 0... sorry. 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so what I did previously was correct. I messed it up. So yeah, we read this left to right. We get 0, 1, 0, and then we can let's maybe assume that these are zeros for now. So we get 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Then we read it right to left and assume these are the ones. So then we get 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, which gets us that, which is the right answer. It's the same as when they were overlapped before, it's just they had two different... We were writing two different versions overlapped. It's just when I read it back this way, right to left, I typed it in right to left rather than left to right. I didn't do the flip you were supposed to do. Okay, well, so that's... Hopefully that broadly makes sense, but that's another fire pit up and running. I can kind of see why that one would baffle you, Pork Bonky. It's a bit of a... I don't think it's a logical leap, but I think can be a bit... There's a few steps that you could easily kind of not do and not realise, obviously. Seeing as I did at least one of them. As with all these games, everyone gets baffled in slightly different places. And I've certainly been plenty baffled previously, as we've seen. Ooh, yes, I've seen these symbols elsewhere, and I know there's an area for these, judging from the hub. So we will come back to that. This one still vaguely baffles me. Interesting. Okay, I thought it might be that. So this is now actually an XOR operation, but on the left and the right of the pillar. So, the left is 1, the right is 0. So if we think about how we did it previously, we'll read up the left, so we'll go on, 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 on. But then on the right, off, so we don't do anything. Then we do on, nothing, nothing, on. Which then gets us our answer for this pillar. And that power cable then goes somewhere that I don't think we've discovered yet. Okay, well, let's run back into the middle and see how we're doing. With our speedy, speedy legs. Okay, so that's 4 areas that we've lit up now. We've lit up our kind of domino-esque puzzle piece area, our bridge area, our tree area, and our binary area. That's the diamonds we've seen around, and we've seen some of that already in one of the areas. Now I'm curious, what was the puzzle piece area I did then? Am I misremembering that? If I run, and I know there's a teleporty thing down here, I remember. Oh, the puzzle piece area. I'm being silly. That was the pillars. So the area with the dice symbology we've done some of, but we've clearly not finished yet. Interesting. And there's obviously the factory that was hurting my brain. There was this whole area in here, in the mansion, that I looked at and noped out of absolutely. Because these all look a bit more loosey-goosey. Because there's obviously symbols that are important, but which I don't necessarily understand yet. Oh yes, so this is going to be an end game thing. So look, they're the diamond symbols from elsewhere. So I strongly suspect this is going to be like the village in The Witness, where it had all different bunches of symbols and puzzles that all combined from around the world that you kind of come back to once you know all of the mechanics and you kind of can bundle them all up together. So this was the pillar area we did. At the end of last week, we did open a door eventually. I go in there. We did open a door eventually in here, to open this gate for us, which is where we finished off. So I suppose we could have a bit of an explore around this area now. See where this will take us. So this links us back to that puzzle up there as a shortcut. There's vines, and there is these diamonds. Interesting. Which match the signs on there. Interesting. So is there a way we're supposed to be able to get here without going through that gate? Is it up and around the back of the mansion? Yeah, okay, so this links us back round to the mansion. Okay, and we've seen these panels before, and this big pool is reflecting this tree down for us. So, can we solve this? So the first split, the left is longer. Then we have a kind of a trinary split. And of those trinary splits, this one's longer. And then, so we've gone left, left, and then right. And if we go left and then left, we get to there, and I can't see. So we have to use both sides of the reflection, I see. Then it looks like if we look up here, so we're going left, and then right, and this branch goes right the way through up here, and then it's that the right one here is longest. So we're going to have to use both halves of this reflection to solve this puzzle by the look of it. That's nice, I like that. So on the other side of it, if we go and now I'm wondering if I'm messing up the mirror flip stuff. No, that was all on the left branch, which means I might have been maybe messing up the mirror flips actually. So we go Yeah, left down that way. We keep going left is the longest. We keep going left. So that should be that one. Here we're going right. If we keep going right, well, the left one here is longer. Then it looks like the left one here is longer, but we'll have to confirm that with the tree up there. But if we instead go right, looks like the rightmost one up here is longer. Clearly not. So, okay, so we go right. We go left. Looks like this left branch here is longer. And the right branch sticking out here. Okay. Then if we go right, and then right again, and then left, which would be this branch that's sticking out over here. So, right, right, left. So that would be right, right. No, that seems wrong. Right, right. That should be right, right, right. Oh, this one's going to make my brain hurt. Okay, and then we've got right, left, left as being longer. So we go right, left, left, which looks right. Then we have left, 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 right, right. Now, it may be that middle branch, maybe that middle branch is actually longer on that side. Nope. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What am I fluffing up here? So the left-hand branch in the first split is definitely longer than the right-hand branch, which is what we've got. And then we go left, right, right. Oh, hang on. That right branch is actually a lot longer. Yeah, because it goes right the way across the tree. Because you can't see it from this viewpoint, but when you look at this viewpoint, it goes right the way up here. Nice. Not quite sure if that's done anything or what that's unlocked, but nice. So we can go back up into this area that we were in before. Ooh. Ooh. And then into some mines. We'll definitely be going into the mines. But it looks like I need to get power from above somehow into there. Which is probably the stuff up here. Okay. Okay. So these are ones from previous tutorials that we did up the hill. Generally speaking, these statues, you need to have the white specified cells white and the black specified cells black, but then you also need to fill in the gaps to make sure that shape works. So if we left it like this shape's ambiguous. So we need to put a white one there to make sure we get that kind of N shape. Similarly, we need to put another one here to make sure we get that single cell of black. At least that's how I understood it last week. We will see if I get more understanding of it this week. So that would mean we'd need to put one there to make that cell unique, one there to make that cell unique, and one there to make, and there to make those two and that one unique. So that's not right. So, pretty sure those ones have to be filled in. And I'd assume those two and those two had to be filled in, but that's not correct. So, there's clearly a bit of a wrinkle here I'm missing. Because that one made that one unique, that one made that bit unique. And we left that empty, which split off those two from being the same. So I assume I can't bridge the white areas. Doing that would bridge the white areas. So I think that's okay. Then is it that? Interesting. Interesting, yeah, I'm definitely missing. I'm missing something here. That one, that one, that one. The other way we could think about it is that we fill in everything, we turn off the black cells, and then we figure out how to make the white cells unique. The white patterns unique, which would mean we need to turn that one off, and those three off. That's not quite right either. I seem to remember there was something about when it's ambiguous, you leave it. So, how would that work in this case? So in order to split these white cells from each other, that has to be black. In order to split these black cells from each other, that has to be white. That one then becomes a bit ambiguous, potentially. So that one splits that one off. And then that one becomes ambiguous because that will join them. Not 100% convinced I quite understand that solution. So, well, let's move on to this new area. I'm eager to figure out what these diamonds mean. And we ran right to the top of this area previously. We have this one. So we have two blue or teal diamonds. So this is obviously a tutorial because it's telling us by this flashing what's wrong. And it looks like, at the moment, all we know is that they need to be on the same colour. My suspicion is that you need to kind of bridge them by drawing a line between them. Which I think is what that's then telling us. So you need to draw a line between the same coloured symbols, potentially. But this is where we get kind of a sequence of puzzles where you can figure that out. So we can test that. We can say, do they just need to be the same colour? No. What if we draw a line between them? Then it's happy. Question then is, can it be any line? Yeah, it looks like it can be any line, at least at the moment. So obviously in this case, these are ones that we can't draw in. So currently there is a line of black between them, but if I was to do that, there's no line of black between them. But I could do that, and there still is. So we just need a line of the same colour between the same coloured diamonds. So this is the first time we've seen multiple ones, so I guess if you've got two pairs, they need to be paired up somehow. Yeah, so they need different coloured lines between them. So how does it work when they need to cross? Oh, we can probably do that. Because they're no longer, like, the streams aren't crossing. Yeah, so they're quite happy. It's just you can't do that. Because then you're joining them, 4 of them together. Which invalidates the rules. So in this case, we need to just put a diagonal, and then we have a black line between them, a black line between them. And as we've learnt in other bits of the games, diagonals don't count as adjacent. So in this, assuming that yellows work the same as the blue ones, we'd need to do this, because then we'd have 3 pairs, each with their own colour line. And then in this, we'd do that, because then those join with a white line, those join with a white line, those join with a black line. So in this case, we can probably do that. So these top pair join with a black line, this joins with a white line, these join with a white line, but none of them intersect. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have to use diagonals like that, so that all the pairs are paired up with a line between them, but there's no any more than 2 that are joined up. So we could do this pairing, but this pairing means that these ones will complain if we, and we can't block them because then these ones are joined. So maybe we do that. Yeah, because those 2 are joined with a white line, those 2 are joined with a white line, these 2 are joined with black, and these 2 are joined with black lines. And there's no intersection between the different joining lines. Ooh, there's lots of powers coming out of the swamp into this building, so obviously we can open that building by solving other puzzles elsewhere. Now we've opened this gate, we're into this little kind of swamp area. A lot of locked doors. Okay. Okay, so this is the first time we've had multiple different colours in the same puzzle. I'll come back to that, because I've just seen a really interesting door. Ooh, okay. So we learnt about these style of puzzles last week. So we'll come back to that. We'll stick to one type of puzzle for now. Okay, so the question is then, can we do this? Like, can colours be on the same path? It looks like they have to be for this to be solvable. But I guess we will find that out. Because we're now outside of what the game considers tutorial town, so we're no longer getting the flashing red to show us what's wrong. So if we do it this way, we need to get this we need to get this purple to join this purple, and the only way we could kind of get those all to join on one coloured line is to do that, but then that causes us issues because that joins up around here. So that sort of makes me think that this assumption as a first move is probably wrong. Maybe we do that. And then this would have to be white to stop us having that issue. That's no longer working. But we could maybe do that. And then that. So those purples are joined. Those two yellows are joined. Those two whites are joined. Those two whites are joined. Those two purples are joined. Those two yellow, those two whites. Okay. So colours can share the same pathways. Different colours, that is. Okay, we've got a little shack up here. But it looks like we need to bring power to this shack. Is it in the bottom? There we go. Okay, before we do that, I want to go and see if I can play on this raft. Oh, that's stairs. Okay, so these floor platforms, you have to walk, so your path has to be contiguous. You can't skip around the board like you can when you're just clicking on them. So if I press space, I start walking. And if I walk back, you know, I can't skip over to here. So this would have to be like that to keep them all separated. Oh. Oh. And the pathway we draw on there is the pathway that rafter just took. Oh, yay. And here's our teleport area. That will fill in another bit of the map for us. So let's... easiest conversions to that teleport. So we're missing a big hole out of our map up there. Okay. Interesting. So I guess if I was to do it this way around, we'd then, yeah, we'd do that one, and then we'd end up at this starting point. Oh, and it changes where, yeah, it changes where we have to start our path. That's clever. I like that raft. That's going to do something really, really infuriatingly difficult later, isn't it? Cool. Okay. So pathways. That should be fine. This one we can just fill in because we know about the pairs. So I suspect we might have maybe been able to land on this part before we figured out this solution to open this door. So because this seems to be teaching us about the logic we needed for up there. But no mind, this wouldn't be the first time we've sequence broke this game in this one playthrough. So that would have to be... So if we join them up like that, we can totally do that, but then we would have issues doing the other set. So, how do we solve that problem? So these two kind of teal ones need to join. However they join, they're going to block this one off. So we have to fill in like that, I believe. Oh, and then we fill in that one, and then that one. And then we get all of the pairs happy. Okay. Okay. So with this one, we've got two blue ones that need to join, and then we have the same sort of issue with the yellow ones, potentially causing intersection issues. We've got that empty space again there, which we used to do sneaky things last time. So it could be But then this one has to join up with ones next to it somehow. It could be something like that, but that doesn't solve our issue down here. That solves our issue like that. Okay. That one felt easier. Right. Up our swamp shack we go. Okay. So in this case we could just do that. That makes everyone happy. In this case we can do that. And that makes everyone happy because that blocks off these top two and these bottom two, which were the difficulty. And in this case, we can do that, which makes everybody happy, I think. Yeah. So we have to draw the path between the black ones, and we were careful to kind of, because it's trying to hint that you need to kind of get two of the ones next to each other into your line, but actually you need to break out of that thinking so you can split them up. So these two are in an area by themselves, and these four are in two different areas. Yes, up the swamp shack, Joe. Okay. These panels are just getting bigger and bigger. Alright, so immediate observations from this massive panel. This blue one up here is on white and we can't change it. Which means this blue one also has to be on white. Because they have to be in the same area. Similarly, these two yellow ones are on black, so they have to remain on black, and we'll probably have to join up somehow. The how I'm not 100% sure about yet. The difficulty comes, we have to draw this white line some way between the blues. We can't go that way because that dead ends us. But we maybe need to include that in the line. It looks like the only way we can really do this line is... Well, there's one way that will let us go up there, which will join the blues and get two whites and make those white happy and those white happy. But the problem is, it can't be that solution, and that's why these ones you're not able to flip. Because if we could flip either of these ones, it would make that solution work. But we can't. Which means we probably need to do that. Because then those white ones and those yellow ones can join around there. And then these two yellows and blacks are happy there. Okay. Thoughts from this one. We need a black line joining these two, potentially. Although, that might be a trick. Because we can also split this area, this thing into two. And they're happy, but then these ones aren't happy. So if we went round that way, they're still not happy. Okay. But somehow we need to draw a line between these two white ones in white tiles. So the question is looking at how to make that possible. Yeah, like that. So it can be a branching line. So going up and around this way goes around these two, so they can then join with their buddies down here. We then have to put this branch out to join to the blue, and this branch out to join to the white. That isn't right because now these two are away from those, so actually we need to wiggle back around them. There we go. And that is one of our lines into that transformer up there, which will hopefully open an interesting looking door over there. Up into here. Okay. So we want to get down here because there's another shack down here. So, can we... draw a path? We can, that will then move us down there. So this is like very giving me the Witness vibes, because there was bits in the Witness where you figured out how the rules worked and they operated machines. And it seems in this one, yeah, there's lots of different solutions we can do to get to these different ports. Okay, so that will open these doors, which will let us move around easier. And that looks quite tricky. And then we have a few puzzles in here, and we have another kind of swamp tower to go up. So let's see what we can do here. So we can't, we could go straight down to join these, but then obviously we've got a lot of other things to join. But I think is that not valid? Oh, that's not valid because that's not valid for a whole bunch of reasons, to be fair. So this would join up those yellows and blues. They're okay, they're okay. Yeah, there we go. No? What's wrong with that one? What have I done? Oh, these will join all the way up around here and cause issues. Yeah, interesting. Okay. It feels like we probably need stuff there to kind of block off this from being different. But I've made an assumption that we join it there. That's not necessarily the correct assumption, because they could go across the top or across the bottom somehow, if we can figure out kind of what that means for these yellows. But I don't think there's any way we can get from here to here that will not go through more than 2 yellow diamonds, because we can't go through here, so we always have to do at least 2, and then would have, no matter which route we take, would go over across another one. So it feels like that has to be the route. But if that's the case and we put that there, we need to do that in order to get those sorted. That looks right. Sorry, that's the silence of me genuinely thinking quite deeply and just glaring at my monitor. Yeah, so see, these blue ones are now joined. You can really do with an outline on this colour scheme, but these blue ones are joined, these yellow ones are joined, and all these other ones are kind of separated off. Yeah, that's really hard to see from a colour accessibility standpoint. Okay, so this is all about splitting up areas now, really. So we could do that sort of thing, that sort of thing. That splits everything up. So effectively what we're doing is, if we don't think of them as paths, if we think of them as segregating or segmenting the area into different contiguous areas, each of which have 2 of the same diamond in, but no more than 2 of the same coloured diamond in, that, I suspect, is more about how to think about this. So a lot of this game is kind of about partitioning space in some of the when you have certain symbols in the board. Okay, so we can't join these two set ones directly because that'll get us free. And we can't go right. We can't kind of continue the white area right here. So what do? We could... Yeah, so this one has to go somewhere. It can't go up, which means it has to go right. Which then means we know kind of this pair is defined, so it can't pick up any other of these yellow diamonds. So my inkling is that this probably has to come down around here. So if we do that and that, yeah, there we go. That partitions the space correctly. Okay, so this one has to be in a black area. This one has to be in a black area, or I guess technically blue in this section, but an off area. But this one can't join to this one because it would have to go through another one. So this can either kind of, we can either segment it like that. I was about to say we could either segment it like that or another way, but segmenting it that way works. So there we go. Oh boy, this side of the swamp seems to be all about partitioning the space with the same colours, the same coloured diamonds in, which is, oi boy, starting to get tricky. But I think if this one, because it's symmetrical, we can do a symmetrical solution. There we go. So these spokes of kind of the white ones that are coming out then mean you have these little kind of L shapes that satisfy the other diamonds. In this case, you could maybe join those up. And that's fine. So this is not a symmetrical board, so it's unlikely the solution will be symmetric. That looks to work, because these are joined. Basically putting that centerpiece in, along with this one, separates off these two pairs. Okay, and I suspect that's a second power line going into there. Great. So that means we've got one more power line. Can't actually see, obviously, where it goes. So that's interesting. We do have route we can go down here. It's probably this one. So this is a bunch of those style of puzzles, but now we're on walking. Kind of on a walking floor rather than a clicking panel, which means we need to do it all in one contiguous, non-overlapping path. So that's quite tricky, because that means we can only ever, when we're walking, walk over two of the same colour, because by default that will make them joined up in a path, or in an area, because we're doing a contiguous non-overlapping path, which means this will be a lot more about transcribing areas that kind of block other pairs. So in this case, I think it will be that. Yeah, I like the walking puzzles. I also liked the ones where they bring in an external thing that makes something that will have lots of solutions only have one. So like when you were building the bridges in another area, I really liked that, because you looked at it and went, oh, there's lots of different solutions to this. but the solution has to make a valid bridge. And it helps kind of, it's that extra little bit of grist that narrows down the solution, which is quite fun. Especially when you're doing spatial things. That's really nice, right? Because it's not something you have to tutorialize. You just have to go, people vaguely understand how bridges work. So they should understand they need to walk across the thing. Now this is classic puzzle design. Move one piece by one space and completely stuff up the solution that everyone will have come to in the previous one. So how do we solve this one? Because, you know, if we were just doing it as a panel, we could kind of go down here, then come back up here, but we obviously can't do that. So the tricky ones are these ones at the top. How do we separate these ones at the top? Because we can still mark spaces even on these floor panels, by the way. But basically, the reason being, if I just submit that solution so it goes away, we kind of would like to do something like this, right? Because that would separate everything out. But we can't do that because we'd need to go back on ourselves. And if we do, we can't do the kind of solution we did before over here because this one's been moved. So, my inkling is, normally with this sort of puzzly thing, you need to maybe go the other way or something. But I don't think going the other way helps. So we have to split off these areas. So that would... yeah, okay, so that pathway would make everything happy. Because we'd have 2 on the path, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. So as I say, these are all a lot more about transcribing and blocking off areas now than they are about kind of drawing the space. I have just pressed space, you're alright. We're doing the diamond area, Port Ponky, in the swamp. We have climbed many swamp towers, and now we're doing... and we also, as is our wont, solved this much harder puzzle here before going up this tower, which told us how to solve that style of puzzle, because I didn't really pay attention to the fact you could drive the swamp boat around different places. But hey, that's the freedom of these types of games, right? Okay, so how do we lay this out? So I could do that sort of thing. But that doesn't really... we then have this problem down here, that we'd need to split them up somehow. So the other option is we go this way, but then we still have that option. We kind of, it feels like we have to end either in this space or this space, like we did over here to split stuff up. Well, yeah, you know, you give me a puzzle and I already understand most of the mechanics, I'm going to just figure out the rest of them. That's the fun of these types of games, though, is you can sort of just go, oh, I think it will work like this, and then if it does, you're laughing. My inkling is that the yellow diamonds will have to be on the path we walk as well. So the other option, then, is that... then we'd not get to there. That one needs to be off. That splits up all the teal diamonds correctly, but causes us issues. If we don't go to there, yeah, we need to go to there to do the split. Then we can't go up and back down again to get to there. So, can we do a similar thing going this way? Yep, but that gets us back to the problem we had before. We're not splitting up the space correctly. So what if we went back up? Back up. Oh, we'd have to go there to pick that one up. No, that still doesn't help us. Unless... No. Feels like we have to go to the right. That's just... This is all intuition at the moment. This is not logical deduction or anything like that, obviously. The other option is the yellow ones don't have to be on the same path, which means they can kind of join in an area where we don't walk. But can we do that? I mean, technically yes, but I'm not sure it's helpful. So we still need to finish down here to split these three off, or down here to split these three off. Oh, we could do that, giving us yet again the same problem we had before. It definitely feels like one of those puzzles when the answer will be super obvious once I twig it. So that would solve that problem at the bottom, but then we'd need to separate these off somehow. In a way we can do that with this path is to walk those spaces. So we need to do something like that. But again, that doesn't separate those off. Can we do the wiggle this way? Have you not done this puzzle then, Port Bonky? As you're saying, guess. Yeah, but feel free to take a guess at this stage, because I am now just kind of running through possibilities in my head. Oh, that's it. Well, I think I've just solved it, but sorry, I feel like I just gazumped you there. I think that works. Yeah. Well, what was your solution? And we'll try it out and see if it works. Fought through bottom right. That might work as well, actually. Oh. Yeah, that also works. Do like a game where the solutions are systemic rather than pre-programmed. Always nice. Okay. How do you open this gate? Oh, this gate gone. Oh, it's probably this puzzle right here, right? Ooh. Oh, how do you... Interesting. Because I guess this one must be linked to that gate, and I want that gate gone, because the gate's annoying me. Because that makes that happy, but it then doesn't cause us issues on this half. Oh, hang on. Wait. I can start from anywhere? Yeah, I was just having that same sort of like, wait, what? Well, if I'm allowed to start from anywhere... then that's really easy. Go away. I want to... oh, yeah, basically do that. And then... well, not quite that. I want to do that. Yeah, interesting. I don't think you're normally allowed to start from anywhere on those. I'll have to keep an eye out on that. Anyway, there was some noises up here, which I assume was this gate finally opening. Now we've got all 3 powers into this power box. Aha! And there is our little, well, I guess fire pit, but in this time, more of a furnace. Yet, yeah, thanks game. The game kindly reminding you that there is the hint system here and you're probably going to need it, because look at how big this panel is. Oh boy. Okay, so we've got 2... yeah, I know, go away. We've got 2 white diamonds on white here. Now, they could join, but they can't join through here. So, I mean, one way they could join is just by doing a big old loop around the whole thing. But that would cause issues up here with these black highlighted ones. But that doesn't mean that's not what you're supposed to do. Because it could be that you're supposed to go up and around through here. But that causes issues. This white one has to be on black and have a path round. So maybe we do that. Maybe we do that. Okay. I didn't really explain my thinking too well on that one, but you basically have this pathway all around here to join up these 2 white ones. When you design or play enough puzzle games, you just get really suspicious when you see structures like this and you start kind of metagaming it. So it really felt like the solution to this, because it was non-obvious, was to draw a big line right the way around the board. And then if that's true, the key is to then find the path which doesn't cause any intersections with kind of any other rules or any problems with any other rules. So in this case, we went through this one, which then meant we had to pick up another black one on the way back. The reason we went through this one is we had to kind of prescribe this area or partition this area off, then you basically have these white ones joining, so you know that you have to have a path of black tiles between them. Then, because this path had to go through this yellow one, those yellow ones had to join in the same black path, and these black ones then had to be on that path, which meant these ones had to join somehow, but in a way that didn't cause issues, which is why you saw me kind of fiddling and faffing with this up here to solve it. Yeah, no, that's true as well, Port Poggy, yeah. I hadn't thought through it that logically. It was just like, yeah, that's definitely going to be a join, like a big joining line. But you're right, because of this one in the middle, couldn't be on white. It meant this one had to be on black as well. Because if this one was on white, it would cause issues. Alrighty. Okay, that was a fun little area. And we now know how some of these shapes work. And there was another one up here. Well, that was a different one. There's another one up there that we couldn't get round to. So if we go to our teleporty, where can we teleport to get up there? Probably that one. Oh, and we didn't explore out that route yet either. We shall go back once we've got this door open, which I think is up and around here. Which I thought was up and around here. Am I still on the wrong side of that door? Yeah. Yes, I am. It's actually up there. Oh. Right. Hang on. There's my closest teleport, so I think I probably have to go up and around from up this route. Back down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we now know what these diamonds mean. So doesn't necessarily mean we can solve this immediately, though. It could be like that. But that causes us issues around here because we have to split these up. So we could do a split there. Those could join. But then we've left a 3 down here because we've got an extra one up there. Yeah, so the difficulty is we've got so many yellow ones next to each other here, so we have to figure out how to partition the areas up. Like that, I think. Excellent. Okay, so now we've unlocked a little shortcut so we can run between some more areas. This is right at the top of that big lift. I'm not actually sure how we can get down there from up here. I wonder if we can go through here, maybe. Ooh, and solving those puzzles also moved this minecart down here, which means we can go down this route that we saw before. This takes us under where we've been. Interesting. So, I'm assuming we're going to have oh dear. A big old bridge puzzle. Oh boy. So on these ones, if you get a valid solution, it will make those tiles appear that we can then walk across. So in here we've got to solve it with our knowledge of the diamond rules, but also with the knowledge that, you know, we have to form a bridge. Which means these have to be filled in. Now, that also means that has to be filled in. That means we can only go across one other black diamond. So, and that other black diamond actually has to be there, I think. So how on earth? Oh, but it doesn't have to be a contiguous path on this one because we're not walking it, it's still a panel. So what we basically need to do is we need to make a path for us. Let's say it's going to be something. Oh, hang on. That then causes us an issue with this one immediately. So maybe we need to do quite a long circuitous route on this one. Because this has to be able to get to another black diamond. Now the difficulty is this has to be on our path as well. So how do we get this to another black diamond when this has to be on the path? So this could maybe go out this way and up like that. So then our path could sort of spear down there, because we don't have to have this as being walkable. So those are okay, those are okay, those are okay, those are okay, and those are okay. And our path is now okay. So then the rest of this is kind of stuff to try and figure out how to sort out how to kind of partition these other areas, split these other areas up. But in a way that doesn't join our path contiguously or like orthogonally. We could do that, that's totally valid, because it doesn't join. But we then still have a lot of ones on the same path. Yeah, I think that's it, because these are all now split off, but no, this is on the path still. Damn it. But it doesn't have to be, because... Oh no, we can't go up that way, because that breaks that rule. So... Oh boy. Yeah, I know, game. Because I kind of want to do that, but then obviously these four then don't have any friends. These really do probably have to do little L shapes. Yeah, because we can do that, but then that joins our path, which causes us issues. I feel like that's a good place to start. You see, we can't go there because this has to join. So this whole thing has been very carefully designed to kind of block off obvious solutions, because that is how puzzle games work. Spoilers. We could do that. There we go. Phew. And now we've solved that puzzle. We get a little bridge that comes out that we can walk along to get to the other side. And a very suspicious looking pathway. Oh, which takes us back to here. Cool. So we're actually quite near the middle of the map again. And we solved 5 areas. It looks like if we solve one more, that maybe something will happen down here, potentially. Now, if we go back to that area we were before, I want to solve that door puzzle before we move on. Very suspicious of those perfectly 90-degree angled paths. Which was up in here. Up in here? Where was it? We had that extra little puzzle. Where was it? I have now lost it. It's up in this one. Ah, here we go. Okay, so these again are all about partitioning spaces, but these are saying how many need to be, and they can join up, but obviously the ones can't join up. So a good first start is to partition them off. Then we have 6 here, which we could attempt to partition off. We also need to partition off this one. So, let's start that again. We need to partition off this one, which we know has to be black. That one also has to be black. Which then means we have to put this in, but then these can join up. So we can have 9. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But then the problem is this is 1, 2. This goes all the way around here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So now each of these have, if you count them all up, the correct amount of space as per their dots, in whatever colour they are, partitioned off. And this one is one of those ones we can start wherever again. So now we are somewhere secret. Oh, we're in an area that is now merging mechanics again. So you can do that. No, we can't do that because it's only allowed 1, you idiot. So we'd need to do that. Okay. So 1, 2. So these have to be separate. So perhaps that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So we learnt about these kind of domino or dice symbols in the last stream. That's 7. That'd be 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be 7 and 7 like that. And, oh, a new bright raspberry colour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, because that then joins that one. So how would you do this one? 1, 2, 3. And that joins that one, which causes us issues. So basically this one has to go up this way somehow. Or maybe this way. But if we go that way, then we get all sorts of clashing issues with the other rules. And these areas, I don't believe these can share. The different colours can't share the same area. And I'm assuming these are joining up, which means they'd also have to grab these blue ones. And adding 3 and 3 would give us the 6 cells. But they don't necessarily have to join up. But they probably do, because we're going to, yeah, wall off this bottom right blue diamond otherwise. I just really want to do that, but we can't, unfortunately. Those don't have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we can't reach that one, so it does have to join to that one. The only other way they can go is there. So that will be that one's causing us problems. That will then break everything. Okay. Other potential option is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then we don't have this one having a friend. That's valid. Then how do we make sure this has 3 by itself? Like that. There we go. Ah, sudden realizations. Ooh, what did it do when there's just one of the colours? So I make that 6. How do I make that? Oh, so the colours match across. So blue diamonds can match with blue numerals. Okay. Okay. So then that'll be like that. Yeah, okay, so two white diamonds have to match, and a white diamond has to match with a white 6. It's probably looking at something like that, and then like that. In this case, we need to be careful not to match these, I suspect, because then we'll get an odd number. So how do we have to separate these pairs off somehow. And this doesn't have enough reach to grab 2 of them. So that needs to go down that route. That needs to go down that route. They can't really do that. And that would make that happy, but it would then cause issues that we don't have enough. We then have an odd number of these white diamonds, which we can't sort out. So I need to figure out how to join these or split them off in a way. Because it would be lovely to do something like that, right? But the problem is... Oh, no, this could be black. This could be black. Yes, there we go. It's like that. So you get a 4 there, and then these are joined. That's a clever little puzzle. Okay. So this has to be white, and this has to be 5. And again, we've now got an even number again if we match up some of these. So for example, we can do that. And that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's happy. So that one's matching with that one's matching with that one. And the 5's all sorted. Okay, so we've got a 4 here that has to get there. So there's only 2 routes it can do, either that route or that route. And similarly, there's a 4 there. So... So that could potentially be... So when there's no cell specified either white or black, these things are... You can polarity reverse the whole thing, right? So it doesn't matter whether you start in white or black. The difficulty here is that we need to make sure that this is only 4. Means we really need to turn that one on to make that only 4, but that then makes this too big for this 4. We know that these two have to join up for that kind of blue joining to blue rule. And these two have to join up as well. So it becomes a question of how do you separate these two? And these two have to be separated somehow by different colours because they touch in the middle. I think that's it. Lovely. Okay, so we have opened a whole bunch of doors now. There's a door up there, and we've also opened a door down here. Which is a shortcut, so we don't need to worry about that lift anymore. So let's go up. Oh, just feeling my brain's getting pummeled today. Okay. So, we need to partition space so there's only ever 2 of the same colour. So we could do something like that. That's valid. And then equally, we could do something like that, but that gives us problems in the middle. So it's more likely what we want to do is then potentially say, I was about to say, potentially something else, which is not particularly useful. I want to kind of block there, so that can go up and around to there. But that has to go through too many purples to get there, so that's not a good solution. So, what's another potential pattern? Because again, it's kind of rotationally symmetric. So that would work. Then we'd have to start blocking stuff off down here. We can't quite do. We could just do the middle bit. But again, that's probably not great. So I wonder if we can do, yeah, like an offset set of these T-pieces as well. That seems to be happy. And we've got ourselves a new lift. As well as a bunch of blue screens down here. Which, have we... Yeah, which the power comes in from up here. Oh, hang on. Oh, okay, we've not seen that symbol before. We've not seen the empty die symbols. So that's worth 6, that's worth 4. Yeah, so currently that's not possible. So that those empty symbols must mean something. And we didn't do this area over here, which is where that cable's coming from. Which would imply that we'll get taught that symbol over there. So we'll come back to that. See where this lift goes. Is that just back down to where we were? Is that back down to where we were? It's back down to the central floor, which we've solved. Just trying to figure out, is it if we fill it all in, is that a valid solution? But we can't fill it all in. Because the only solution we've really done so far is the central 2, which, you know, I'd sort of assume would take us to the second floor. I don't think we can easily do... Oh, we can because they add up. I'm being a doofus, yeah. So whichever row we draw in, that's which floor it brings the lift to. Clever. Clever, yeah, okay. So we've now unlocked this whole tower stack in here, which is cool. I think I'm going to find a teleporter, and then we should go back to... Is it up here, or was it a bit further down? We should go back to either the factory or yeah, these are all solved. I think these are all solved. Yeah, we should go back to the factory or down to the area that we kind of came at from a different direction, which is kind of over in this bridge area a little bit. We haven't found this puzzle section here. So, oh, okay, well, I've accidentally teleported myself to the factory section, and this is where we got stuck in the factory section last time. And yeah, it is a bit odd. I think it's because you can come in from different levels, Joe, so and there's no way to call the lift to you by the look of it. But the lift and that raft really does remind me of the kind of the machinery and the witness, where you know, solve the solutions in multiple different ways to move stuff around, which are always some of my favourite parts. They're very kind of later Myst-like when you're solving puzzles in order to make machinery work, which I always enjoyed. Okay, so these dashes effectively mean, as far as I understood, you need to copy the surrounding spaces of them into every instance of the same colour. However, there was also some stuff going on about how you could invert the pattern, and that's fine, and the patterns couldn't touch. So you see here you've got like a plus and a plus over here. But you couldn't put a white plus in here because it would touch this one. So the kind of the patterns have to be discrete that you copy. I don't feel I ever fully grokked this, which is why I got a bit stuck here. But you can sort of see here that this kind of pattern here is being copied here. And then this is effectively being copied. I don't quite understand how this copying between these ones at the edges work. I think that might be the problem I'm having. So, for example, we could do this. That should, as far as I understood it, kind of vaguely work, but it obviously doesn't. So it does feel like there's something about the rules of this that I don't understand. I let myself into the factory section. I'm a big boy and I'm allowed to go play in disused, dangerous factories if I want to. I really shouldn't. But, you know, I want to get to these Tetris puzzles up here. What are you saying, Joe? That I absolutely don't understand the mechanics of this? Because that's possible. I mean, also I've been that I was actually just massively overcomplicating what these symbols meant, which is now what's coming into my head. Oh, I bloody was, wasn't I? Hold, please. So we know that has to be like that, or that would be valid. Then because if it is just the shapes you're copying rather than the surrounding areas, which is what I ran away too early. The last one on the bottom right set of puzzles, what, this one here? Waits for stream delay and typing. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your sarcasm. So if it is you're copying the shapes, but they don't always have to invert. I don't understand then why this doesn't work. Because you're basically just copying... Oh, because the shapes on the different colours had to be unique as well, didn't they? I remember that from somewhere. Is it in here? Yes, we then had to have unique shapes on them all as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is one that I think is not... Well, obviously I'm going to say this because I struggled with it, but I also kind of got the impression this one doesn't feel quite as... The tutorialization doesn't feel quite as good because there's other kind of solutions that worked for a lot of them quite a way deep in, which is why I got kind of a bit thrown off, I suspect. So in which case I have to make different... Okay. So I can't go down because of that one. So we start with that one, and that's they are valid. Those yellow or orange ones are probably valid, but then these need to be different shapes. So I could perhaps do that, but then they're touching, which you're not allowed. Means we could do that, but then those ones are touching, which aren't allowed. Okay. Okay. So that feels like a good shape to put in, but then it's figuring out how to make it so these don't intersect with each other in a way that is bad. Like that. Hooray! Because we're allowed to use the same shape as long as it's a different starting place for each of them. Okay, cool. Yeah, what it was is when I saw up here and I was saying, oh, I want to go play with the Tetris pieces, and I was like, oh, it's been Tetris pieces the whole time, hasn't it? Oh, good, diagonals. How much do we want to bet that diagonals mean you rotate it? It would actually be that way. Oh god, it does. Okay, cool. So that got rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Where do you think they got the diagonal idea from? I feel like you're referencing something I've not twigged. I don't remember the rotation puzzles in The Witness, but it has been a very long time. Okay, so this one meant we had to rotate it all to fit so it didn't touch. I mean, I remember the Tetris piece ones. Yeah, I don't remember the tilted ones specifically. Because the Tetris pieces had that whole, you could join up the Tetris pieces and rearrange them, and which was kind of clever, but also a bit weird that you could completely just rearrange the space with the Tetris pieces. Okay, so this one then we couldn't put this way because it would intersect. But it doesn't seem like the rotation direction matters. And this is seeming to say that we don't need to rotate them when they've got the diagonal lines. And we can rotate it as much as we like. But that would be a mirror flip and not a rotate. Interesting. Interesting. So that's the only way that puts it in the tip. Yeah. No, it's not. Because I forgot that you can still do the colour flip as well. Okay, so right, let's assume that we know flatline to flatline doesn't rotate. Tilty tilty does rotate, which means we're looking at that. But that then now intersects, which causes issues. Oh, but we can also change the scale of this. So why don't we assume something like this for now. That's going to cause issues. So we have a mirror flip there. Put one there and put one there. That transposes to there. That rotates to there. That rotates to there. And everyone's happy. Yeah, bish bash bosh. Ooh, tilty machinery. Ooh, ooh, interesting. So, interesting. Yeah, I just saw that you'd been filtered for that. That's obviously triggered something about it being a inappropriate word. I imagine the second part, which is sometimes used by not very nice people. I can't get up around there yet. Oh, possibly that as well, yeah. So, what does... So, do I have to do the same shape, but mirror flipped? Okay, so we can rotate the pieces. So that would then be that. Why did this bit? Yeah, how's better? Thank you. Yeah, I kind of get there. It does feel like there is a bit of a... It does feel like it should almost have a slightly different symbol, because you're not doing any copying. And the whole thing of this area has been about copying the symbols. Oh. Look around me and I'll see what I'm copying. Are you some form of faux British entertainment show now? Man, I love to look around you. That seems more promising. Maybe. Do that. But now we can't exit. I would like to exit. One, two, three. So that can go in like that, which is fine. Trying to figure out a way just to get to another place, because I imagine we... Oh no, because even if we get up there... Even if we get up there... We need to get back here to change the symbols. Okay. But I should at least be able to... No, because that then won't go far enough. And that's not a mirror flip, is it? That is... Yeah, it's not a mirror flip. So we can do that. That is in that, so that could do that. Which gets me over there at least. What's over here? What is over here? Ooh. Well, this is certainly an area I've not been. So, let's try and open this door first, I guess. Alrighty, we have 2 white diamonds, 2 green diamonds, and I assume an even number of yellow diamonds. It feels like you have to do that, like it's a requirement. So let's assume it is. So what's wrong there? That's wrong there. That one and that one cannot see each other. So I actually don't need that one, do I? So then 3 of them can see each other, and 3 of them are on in here. Oh yeah, of course. Was a bit gung ho on that one and completely didn't pay attention. So I like the fact I like trying to split these off. That feels right. Other option is to do a bit of wiggling, but I don't think. Not sure we can wiggle enough. So if I go around that way, I'd want to go over that white one. Then would have to grab another one of these, which would cause issues. Okay, so the other option is that we do something like that. The other option is we do something like that. Okay. Okay, so we open that door. I guess we can keep going this direction. We're in another secret back area that is, oh no, is now merging mechanics. So, if we're copying shapes, we're going to have to copy that type of shape. And you're unhappy because because you're not outlined fully. So, let me go back and think through that step by step. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to go back and think about that step through step. Now we've got this area, I want to see if there's a way, if there's a teleporter I can unlock to get back here, or I'll always have to redo that solution. Because this does not feel like an area I want to jump into straight now. It does look like this is the end of an area up here, though. How would I get down there? Because I can't get onto this crane. It looks like you need to go onto this crane to be able to go to solve that one, which will solve this area. Interesting. Might mean I have to go up there. Anyway. For now, I want to see if I can find the other directions off of here. So, move that out of the way for now. So we either want to go up or we want to go... It's gone. Fine. It'll make you happy. I will take a note of the solution. I'm drawing it right now. Thrilling streaming. You're right, though, it will be useful later, so I don't know why I'm being sarky about it. You're welcome. I'm even going to mark it with the ins and the outs. Okay, so. looks like we should be able to go up. I think that's the only way that I can touch the top of that. So I imagine... Oh yeah. I imagine we do this. Then we get a nice long route round. See what's up. Ah. Seemingly something that will give us a shortcut. Which is cool. And... we're back up to the windmill area up here. We've also turned this on so we can do those puzzles. So let's unlock the shortcut. Shortcuts are always good. Okay, so if we're copying shapes, we immediately have to copy these, because they already kind of define some other parts of the shape. And we can do that and that. Okay, so what is wrong here? The blue ones should all be happy. The yellow ones should all be happy. This one is not happy for some reason. I think it's the black lines anyway. Did I have to? Well, maybe I had to... Yellows and blacks do have the same pattern, you're quite right. So, let's step back then and go... Yeah, well, evidently. So, the blue ones all have to be lit up, and this one defines that these have to be here. This defines that these have to be here. That then defines the yellow as having this single space shape. Which means we can fill in those. Then maybe what I do is that. There we go. So the black lines have a different shape. Yeah, I'm not sure how you'd make that more elegant, to be fair. It's just one I keep forgetting. And then we can rotate these shapes. How would we rotate these shapes in a useful way? This would have to... So this would have to go up like this. But to block that off, we'd have to do that. Which we could do. That would then go up there. No, it wouldn't. That would then have to go up that way. So we have to mark it off like that. Can that rotate like that? That can. Which would then mean this would go up this way. Then that would put an extra one on all of them, which is valid. Great. Okay. So we can fill in that one and that one again. So, okay. So that would mean this would have to go up like this. Don't fill in that one, you idiot. That's now the opposite colour. And this one, if we try to rotate this round, would have to go up like that. That's the only other rotation that would fit without mirror flipping it. Which means we have to do something so it can fit. Because if it goes in the other way again, we have the same issue we had before. We end up with this sort of wiggle. To then lead us to having this one, this wiggle, which I'm not sure then works with the other one, because this would need to be empty, 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 empty. But that's then obviously touching this one that's empty, 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 empty as well. So the other option is this could go this way. And this could go this way. We still have this issue here, where this has to go up this way, and it needs to be demarcated, which would make it be that, and that, and that. Actually, might be okay. That? No. So, what am I doing wrong? That one. Oh, these are on the ends, not in the middles. Yeah. So this would have to be like that, which doesn't work. I don't feel close. So those two now feel like they match. So yeah, because that can rotate round and hug that one, which probably means we need to do a huggy, rotatey thing over here, which means that could be that. Get that one, but then they touch. Ah. What's another way that could work? Okay, is that valid? No, because that's a mirror flip and not a rotation. You said I was very close, Porponky. As I say, it does not feel it. That has to do something like that. But it would have to start. Thanks. Your theories are always helpful. Oh, stop doing the same thing, you monkey. This one has to be on. And what we really want to do is something like that, but we can't because they touch. And they're all grumpy because they touch. That actually makes them... Oh, Oh yes, so the reason we can't do them when they touch is because it makes it into one big different symbol, obviously. And then they can't touch because then you have two of them trying to copy from different parts of the same symbol. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's how we'd have to wall that one off. That to replicate that one. Unless it comes in that way, then we can't. Well, then it overlaps first off. It has to go that way, really. Oh, I am very bad at these factory ones. I'm definitely not feeling them like some of the other ones where they work with my brain. These ones do not work with my brain. So we could do it as a long one again. Doesn't really help my current predicament. That then still has to go up and around. It's your different theory that I'm not at all close, because that would be my theory as well. This is where I'm going to have to draw the symbol and rotate it in real life because my brain is now failing to rotate this correctly. Something I did a lot with the Witness actually was draw the Tetris pieces out and then cut them out and then start like faffing them about on my desk to try and see what shapes worked. Surprisingly useful. Yeah, so that can't rotate with where it is and where its centerpiece is. Now the other option is that we need to do something else to the shape. So currently we need to do that. What we can do to this shape in order to make it fit in here, because then what we'd need to do is this would have to be lit up, which would touch, would obviously make everything unhappy. Unless the shape we made was rotationally symmetric, then actually that would be okay? Question mark? Which that is. But obviously that's still not happy. And I don't think we have enough space anyway to fit in a rotationally symmetric joined shape elsewhere. Other option is that could be the shape over here, but then that would be the shape here, and we'd need to, as before, block it off, which would then elongate the other shape and make them join up. Yeah, I am talking, but it's not useful. It's the issue I'm having. Oh, and I've managed to make myself go all the way back to exactly the same solution I had a bit ago. Thanks, Joe. Most appreciated. Because it kind of feels like maybe it's like we just want a different shape here entirely, but then that doesn't really work. Going this way does feel like it has more potential because of reasons. Then we quickly end up back at this state. But is that a problem to end back up at that state? Yes, because that was the solution to this one. But it doesn't work when this is the other way around. Ha. It is tricky, isn't it? He's a tricky boy. See, that feels so good, and yet it doesn't work. Which is so frustrating. So while because the other shape you can make from this is sort of like the F piece. You can make that nice and easily, but then that immediately doesn't work here. Time to draw the S piece as well. So that can go there. The only way that can work is, yeah, I was right. My brain was understanding, which is fine. So the only way that can really rotate is to go up that way. Which is what leads us into this solution. Then that also gives us this, which takes us back to where we were, which is not. I'm pretty sure it's a dead end that we've been down now a few times. I just want this fancy lift. So much to ask, game. Yeah, I can't. So you just end up in a dead end really, really quickly. Seemingly with any solution I'm trying. Let me guess, does it involve just putting in the right solution, Port Ponky? Because I've tried that, and it hasn't worked so far. There it is. doesn't... Oh, you can join them. You can join them because that's happy, because that's now rotationally symmetric. So yeah, because it's the same shape if you rotate it, it's happy, which is what I thought was potentially a thing. So in that case, we'd need to draw that, which means we'd need to put them like that. So we need to clear that one. Like that. Oh boy, that was a tricksy one. So we actually joined them up to have two separate rotationally symmetrical shapes. So you can take this whole shape here, rotate it 180 degrees, and it's happy. You can take this whole shape here 180 degrees and rotate it, and it's happy. Oh boy. That was... Hoi. That was a tricksy one. Okay, so... we don't need to worry about this solution for going up there now. All we need to figure out is how to go down from here. So, let's see if we can sort that out. That would feel like a successful place to end the day. So, if we get it like that, that gives us a pathway to the bottom. Then... that then gets us onto the grid. Just sounding all a bit Tron all of a sudden. That then gets us around, and I think if we rotate the blue one up that way, that nearly, except not at all, does it for us. Because now there's no... you won't be able to skip across diagonally. Won't let us... well, let's do that. I'm not sure that helps us. What maybe does... do that. Not fantastically helpful. I think this one needs to be in that position. That position for us to get on. I mean, rotate what up, poor Ponky? Oh, yeah, no, fair point. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense that you cannot do it from that side. Cunning. I'll let you off with the back seating this time. Because my brain is the pudding. It is a clever little shape thingy. Just for you, I'm writing down this solution just in case. Okay. And now we can run over here, to this screen that would light stuff up higher up. And I think that's the only bit we can really get to by running across some pipes. Oh boy, more of these puzzles. I am not sure I like the shape rotatey puzzles. Oh. There we go. So that's all happy. Because we have these L shapes and they've been rotated. Ones that are flat lines have to stay in the same orientation. Ones that are diagonal lines can be rotated. So this is happy because we rotated 180 up there. Ooh. Okay, so these are already disagreeing with each other because of the positioning of these, which means I need to do that and this in order for those white ones to agree. But then, how do I make this one agree? Because it can go in here, then we have to I guess we'd have to put something there to stop it. Then you've got the problems with these black ones. Because you'd have to put it there to... Oh yeah, and then that's happy because that and that are 180 degree flips. Okay, perfect. I think. Okay, so these are immediately disagreeing with each other as well. So we have to do this. Then we'd need to have this shape here. We know it has to be the opposite colour because otherwise it will cause... Well, we don't normally want them intersecting, but apparently sometimes we do. We can use that. But I think if we assume it's this shape for now... But then we get into the issue of... blocking it off? To be fair, we can do like that. But then we'd also have to do stuff down there. So that feels... that doesn't feel right. So let's go back to starting out. So we know that has to go there and that has to go there. We need something here. Now, in order to get here, we did have to solve... this lift puzzle, because we had to solve a thing here and run round. So there is a potential that we do need to do this overlapping rotational symmetry gubbins again here, because we know it exists. Like, we must have done it in order to get here. And it is feeling a little bit like there might be that here potentially. I'm not sure just yet. The other option, I suppose, is that we do pluses. Oh, okay, that's good to know, Port Ponky. That is good to know. The other solution is that, yeah, that those pluses would need to do that, that, and that. Then... the white ones would need their own rotational shapes, which might cause us all sorts of issues. Which is in fact causing us all sorts of issues. I mean, I'd love the white ones to be T's. Just trying to figure out if that's possible. Yes. Right, which now gives us a route through to this absolute nonsense, which will give us the fire pit for the end of this area. Oh, God. Oh, okay. So we can copy what we know. So this shape here has to match there. And then this shape here has to match here. This shape here has to match. Oh no. Yeah, I can imagine when you've had to do so many rotational ones. This shape here has to match there. This shape here has to match here. So this feels like we're going to be doing a lot of kind of copying backwards and forwards. Okay. That leaves us with a whole bunch of S pieces for the white ones. There we go. That actually was nowhere near as hard or as difficult as I thought it might be from when I first looked at it, to be fair. But we've got a whole bunch of these kind of shuriken shapes, which then leaves us with a whole bunch of S pieces, Z pieces. I always get them confused which ones they are in Tetris. One of the S's or the Z's in Tetris. So yeah, not too bad. That is us finished the factory area, which seemed, well, technically that's us finished most of the factory area, and we no longer have to reset this because this gives us access to all the routes we want, which is lovely. So it means we can get back to some of this absolute nonsense another time if we so wish. For now, I think I'm going to run back to the middle. Or figure out how to get back to the middle. Where is the route back to the middle from in here, actually? I guess out of the factory. Yeah, it's up this way. And we can do a little progress check through this lovely area here. I really like that kind of waterfall area. And I think the middle's just up here. Yes, there we go. That was our factory area done down there. So we have done the trees, the bridges, the factory, the pillars, the kind of diamonds, and the binary section. We haven't even found that section yet. And yeah, that's fine. Also, stop backseating. You know, you know the rules. I'm not going to press that until I finished all the areas. I never in these games go and do the final bit until you've lit up everything, because what's the point? You want to line up all of them, finish all of them. So we started on this bit here, with the dice pips, which I can't remember exactly where that was, because it was quite a sprawly area. But I guess it probably includes some of this stuff up here. Which it didn't end up finishing, because these were very big and fiddly. But generally speaking, this is where we learnt about some of the kind of walking on tile rules. We did this bit over here. So, I would assume we're wanting to copy something from one side of this to the other side. It looks like we can draw on both sides, which I guess means we probably, on one side, want to draw the wall around. But the tricky part is figuring out how to make this all kind of valid. So we've also got this little bit in here, which stops us from doing what I would potentially expect. It's also the thing of whether or not this happens to be kind of a mirror flip, or if we're turning floor into walls and stuff like that. I don't know. My brain is definitely too pudding for that at the minute. But I do remember there was, up beyond this building somewhere, another building that I think we were going to look at getting access to. Yeah, up in here, because we've now got power going up there. So, we could do that, and that is totally valid, but it does not give us a useful bridge. Huh. So the question is, how would we draw? I guess that would be okay. So we can go straight across. We'll then have to do puzzles on here to then go back across that way, I suspect. Oh, those are now 4s in the corner, which means we can... Which means... Oh, okay. How do we... So you kind of want to do that, but you can't because of the middle bit. So... So it's just literally the one in the bottom corner that's not happy now. Ah, yes, but they can all join up, so we can do that. Which gets us to this one. So we can do another bridge over here, apparently. So we could, I assume, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then that could be 5 as well. So there we go, that gets us a bridge up and over to this area, which is now a shortcut back to where we were, with that empty dice symbol that we don't know about yet. Okay. That's got us over to that thing, which is lovely. I want to go across to this one, so we can flip that around. But then that would need... Okay, I think we need to solve that one, so that gives us a route around, because we'll need to be on this side to change that direction. So... that's fine. Except there's no way to actually get off the bridge on this side. So. Feels like we need to have filled in this thing. Can we get back around to that thing if we go up into here? Yes. Fantastic. Okay. So that can be on, and that's happy. That's valid. But that will not give us an actual usable bridge. So, how about if we do it the other way around? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't satisfy these other ones. These yellow ones that are going to be causing us problems. So, it's this 3 that's causing the problem. So, this one has to be kind of separated somehow. That feels good, but then 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that is not happy because the different colours can't really join up into the same bridge. But it feels like the blue ones fundamentally have to, or the teal ones have to be the bridge because of the number of them. If that's true, then this has to be kind of demarcated. But then I don't understand how you get free in this free space. So that's the right number there now. No, the vertical lines wouldn't be helpful, but I also don't have to have the solution from this side because I can go round. So... yeah, so you're right, we could do that. Well, actually we couldn't do that because that would cause issues. But actually the solution has to go from here to here. Think. Yeah, so maybe that could be a vertical line. That could be a 4. We'd have to block this off, which we can't do because of that one at the bottom. Oh, no, we can because we can join them. Ah, silly Billy. Which then means we can do that. Then we can run round. Putting an extra assumption on myself there that because it was one it had to be separated, but of course it can join to another one. So, we can now get here. Well, I mean, I'm just going to colour this all in and see what happens. Cool, no one's happy. Great. I wonder if this means remove one. So we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, and then what's that in the middle? That's another 9, so that's 25. There's 5 by 5, so that is 25. But then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that would leave 5. And I thought getting into this building up here would be the building that would teach us what those symbols mean. So I wonder if I've missed them somewhere else, or there's some other way to get into this building. Did all of this stuff. Normally hollow shapes mean kind of deduct or remove, or you know, something in that vein. That just takes us back around here. And yeah, we've got, these are all adding up to 25. Are they? Just going to check my maths. Always worth me checking my maths. We have 4 times 4, which is 16, plus 9. Yeah, which is 25. Then minus 20. So yeah, we have 5. That, nope, that doesn't make anyone happy. The bit, yeah. Problem is, you have they would kind of overlap anyway, so you'd have to add them all up. What if I just fill it all in and then remove those? Does that do anything? No. Pretty sure I've done the inverse of that. That didn't work either. So... what about that? Nope. And just drawing 5, it wasn't happy with either. Try filling in just those 5. It feels like we'd need the bridge to be on that side anyway. Huh. I mean, huh. Okay. Okay, so if they are deducting shapes, does that make sense? Because this is 9 of itself, and then I'm removing 4. But then my question would be, why wouldn't that work? And that definitely... oh, that doesn't work for the outer ones. It works for the inner ones. I wonder why. Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... oh, because this is only removing 3 and it needs to remove 4. So when you do a straight line, you have 8 dots on either side. Yeah, vertical line will work as well, because you've still got 8 dots on either side. So I think it's the vertical line, because I think rather than joining from here, what I need to do is run all the way back around here, flip that one, then run all the way up around here, back to this side of the building, and then I can run up this way into this lovely looking building. That's a corker of building. I assume there's just it's another tower of puzzles. Oh, it is, but it looks like it's the end of this dice section as well. Okay, so how would these all join up? These could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that should really need to be 9. But we've got the 5 in the middle, so it kind of feels like you almost want to do that for the 5 in the middle. There we go. So they don't actually join up. Okay, and now we have 3s in the corner. We don't want to do that to make those 3s happy. Then if we filled in those, that will add them all up. Ooh. So we've got 6. Again, these need to have 2s. For these 2s, we could just, for now, kind of assume that we're going to block them off somehow. That. Then the problem is that the 6 needs to be on as well. 1, 2. There we go. So we can join that into one of them, and that's fine. Ooh. Okay, so this house actually needs... This house needs power lines from the blue, the yellow, and that white one. So maybe that blue area was the tutorial for those those deleting dots, and I just kind of assumed it wasn't. Would not be the first time. So let's go back across over there and just have a quick look-see. This gets us up and into there, where the blue cable comes from. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would need to be 4 to make that happy, but then this needs to be 4. So... Okay, so we need 4 on, and those 4 need to go across this, because this will remove 2 from the 6. So we can say that, but then we need some way to make sure this only has 4 off. Which we can do like that. Okay, now we'd need 3 on, and then 4 off. Which we can do like that. So yeah, it looks like this might have been the tutorial area for that bit from before. Oh dear, how many times am I going to do that? Probably quite a lot, knowing me. That's like that. So yeah, it looks like what these dots do is they basically mean when they're joined to an area, deduct that many off the area. So that can be 3, because that's 6 minus 3, that's 6 minus 3, and that should all be happy. And I would assume they'd need to match. Yeah. So you've got 6 minus 2 there, which is 4, and then the outer ones are 12. Yeah, so if I try and do it here, they don't match. So instead, I'd need to do something like that, because these are now 5. Now this case, what do we do in this case? So again, we need 4 potentially in the middle. Problem with doing that is they can't, so the light ones can't hook into there and deduct 1 because they'll take 4 to get there, and then that area only needs to be 3 big. So somehow we have to potentially demarcate this middle area. How you do that, I'm not sure. Because you want to do this, which you can't because there's an on-off. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, effectively, or 8. That doesn't wall off that central area. Unless, I suppose, we do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That, and then that. So this, each of them take 1 of the dots, so you get 8 and 5. Cool. And we'll follow our glowing wire down to the next set. Oh. That's interesting. What do you do when it... What do you do in this case? So these should all be 1s. So that should be... Okay, I don't think I quite understand why that works. I guess maybe if the numbers deduct to 0, you just ignore that rule entirely? That's how it feels. So... yeah, it seems to be if they deduct, you just ignore that rule entirely for the area. Question mark. So these are okay. But they are not, because that would still be 2. Oh, because they're next to each other, they add up. So these areas need 2. Then this big area, you're deducting 2 from 2, and you can ignore that rule. Yeah, this one feels a bit more kind of loosey-goosey than some of the others, but I think it is making sense. So I guess in this case, you want 2. Yeah, so you want to match the offs to the on dots. That's how my brain's formulating it at the moment. So in this case, we do this. And all the rules get discounted. Okay, so we have 9, 18, and 6 dots, and that will be an 18 sized grid, a 4x4. So yes, we need to remove 4 because this is 9 minus 3, It is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, oh. I guess they're 7. They've removed 7, I guess. So, oh no, too much maths for my hungover brain. We have 9 plus 9 plus 3 plus 3 minus 7 minus 7. So 10, which means we need to cover up 6 spots on this board, I think. Yeah, perfect. So this is 9 plus 3, which gives us 12. Then minus 7, which gives us 5 on each side. I'm now not trusting the game, and I'm just thinking, like, just going to check to see if just the blank board solution works. Okay, so that's 9 again. A bunch of 1s, so if I fill in the 1s... Thought it was worth trying. So that's 9. Yeah, and then 9 minuses. So that all works out. Okay. So that was probably supposed to be the tutorial area for figuring out these puzzles. Oh well. It's never obvious in games like this exactly what the tutorial area is. That's kind of the fun of the exploration of it. So, I think... if we can... oh, I forgot to change that bridge back. If we can finish this area today, or finish this area with not too much difficulty and get the fire pit running, I think that might be it for today's stream. But let's go over there and see how stuck we get. So yeah, now we've got all the 3 coloured lines running in here. We can go upstairs, solve this puzzle, hopefully, which will then finish the dice area, which has definitely been one of the bigger areas. Yeah, I think so as well, Joe. It's not obvious that that is the first puzzle. Like, you'd almost want it just to have a single dot and a single empty dot in a two-cell panel. Okay, so we have 5s. This has to be different. So that could be a 5. That could be a 5. Can't be. You're talking rubbish, brain. But would that make those ones happy? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, with the extra on there, which causes issues. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like they'll probably be happy. Then, yeah. So this central bit has to be surrounded because of how it works. Oh, there we go. I feel I accidentally did that. We'll say that I intuited that one. But we've got all these 5s around the outside that work. And then we've just moved one of those corners across here to make this all join up. Because of this one additional bit that was said to be white there. That's one of the nicer finish areas to one of these sections. Some of them feel a bit kind of like the ends just sort of happen. So like the tree one felt really short and there was just a fire pit kind of at the end, whereas this really feels like, you know, you put in the hard work, you've made it through to a nice little building, gone to the top of it. Similarly to the factory area, it felt like there was, you know, although it's just sort of on an edge somewhere, it did feel like you made, you know, a lot of effort to get there and it felt all kind of satisfying. That one definitely has been the nicest sort of final area to finish a section in. So far, at least. I'm just ending up having to go towards the mansion more and more now. The central area is up this way, isn't it? Is it? Oh, nah, that's not. No, it's not, is it? This is where I now have clearly getting a bit lost. Nope. We've definitely missed the central area. Want to go back there, because that is a good place to finish. Is it just up here, then? Oh no! I've forgotten where the central area is. Oh, I think I'm being silly. I think it was down, wasn't it? Yes, it was. It was down through here. There we go. Okay, so we've just really got this area that I guess is probably, now I come to think of it, the floor walking area, judging from that symbol, which is a bit up there, because there's definitely a fire pit that we've not looked up here. But I've not obviously missed a teleporter somewhere as well. Yeah, this fire pit. Don't know where I've missed a teleporter. That's interesting. That is interesting. Another day. I've obviously missed a teleporter somewhere. So we've got that floor area up there, and we've got the mansion area, and it looks like we probably know most of the mechanics for the mansion area now. Whether or not we know how to transfer them from those pictures or not, I'm not sure. We obviously then have this big final puzzle here to open some form of door, and I imagine somewhat tortuous end game in there. But yeah, I think we'll call it a day for there. We'll call it there for today even, because I've clearly run out of words. Really, really glad that I got to go back to that factory, and it's obviously been brewing away in the back of my head that I didn't understand that. It's always the difficult thing with doing these types of games on stream or on video, I think, because normally what you'd do is you'd wander off for half an hour, go get a tea, and something would shake loose, which is clearly what's happened in between the two streams on this. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see whether or not I'm going to finish this off on stream. It feels like I probably should. Maybe not on a Sunday stream, maybe on a little bonus stream somewhere we'll finish this off, because we've got so far in it. And yeah, Joe and I are working on a time to do another joint escape room-esque stream as well, which will be fun. Till then, thanks for joining, and for the hints and prods. I definitely didn't get as stuck as I did last time. And also, there's no puzzles I've done today that felt unfair either. Some that, you know, maybe I ignored the tutorial, I didn't quite know where the tutorial was, but I don't really mind that in games like this. I don't mind those sudden realizations of, oh, it's over here, because that's kind of the fun of it. So yeah, nothing quite like that tower, the pillar puzzle that I wasn't so fond of today. Alright, well, cheers everyone, have a good rest of your weekend, and I will see some of you next week. Bye!